Shalom Aleichem, everyone. Sitting here on Thursday, the 19th of Tammuz, Yutet Tammuz, on the eve of Parashat Pinchas. But we're actually sitting here in a dramatic moment in the Torah. We finished last Shabbat, Parashat Balak. We're heading into Parashat Pinchas. And the Torah leaves the reader in suspense. At the end of Parashat Balak, we had an intensive scene, Zimri ben Salu committing one of the most unthinkable crimes in front of the Mishkan. And comes Pinchas, the zealot for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he kills Zimri. And the question is, how is the Torah going to react? I think it's not by coincidence that the parasha ends right there. And we sit here for a week in suspense to hear how HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to react to what Pinchas did. And on the pshat level, HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Torah come out very, very clear. Pinchas is a zealot. HaKadosh Baruch Hu provides Pinchas with the kahuna, with Briti Shalom, totally giving Pinchas the green light on what he did. And there's a very important takeaway from this. There's a certain moral clarity that Pinchas had, and the zealotry and the ability to perform that clarity in the world and to live out the divine will in the world, no matter what the stakes are, and no matter how intense it is an important value to be able to take away. To take a stand when we need to, and to take a stand when we know it's right, and we know what the divine will is. But I do want to suggest that the Mea Shiloach, in a famously radical piece, offers an alternative reading of the story. The Mea Shiloach actually suggests that even Zimri, who performed the most unthinkable act, even Zimri, in some ways, because he lost control of himself, because of that, in some ways is an expression of the divine will. And in thinking that way about Zimri, it actually reflects differently on Pinchas. Pinchas, instead of being the model for moral clarity, becomes the model for acting in the world with a question mark behind it. All of a sudden, the color gray and a little bit of less clarity seeps into the story. And all of a sudden, the story takes on a different color. I think it's not by chance that the Mea Shiloach suggests this radical reading, dafka, in this story. Dafka in the story where Pinchas comes out with the deepest amount of zealotry, the deepest amount of moral clarity. Dafka then is when the Mea Shiloach suggests that maybe it's important that we also live within our morality, but also with a question mark. With a question mark about what the real divine will is, and with a question mark about our actions. HaKadosh Baruch Hu ends up providing Pinchas with Briti Shalom. The Mea Shiloach finishes off and says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu really rewarded Pinchas. And yet, it has a different flavor. And I think that the challenge that the Mea Shiloach is offering all of us is to hold both of those pieces together. How can we hold moral clarity and action and infusing the world with what we know is right and the divine will, with a sense of a question mark behind it, with a sense of a certain amount of lack of clarity, that at the end of the day we don't have the full access to the divine will. The full access to the divine will in some way transcends the world and leaves us with our human intuitions and our human ability to make decisions behind it all. I want to bless us this Shabbos in such difficult times for Am Yisrael, that we'd be able to hold on to both of those pieces, our deep ideologies and our deep certainties, and within our deep certainties, to also have an ability to be mevatel ourselves to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to be mevatel ourselves to the fact that at the end of the day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is transcendent, and there's a certain question mark that lies behind it all. Shabbat Shalom to everyone.